Hello, welcome to this Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob, and I'm joined by the Twitch chat, and we have just excitingly watched the reveals for the new Skaven minis for Age of Sigmar 4. There's a new battle tome coming out, although, spoilers, they haven't yet announced it. And so me and the chat right now are going to be looking at the minis that have been posted on the Warhammer community website. Let's dive straight in and look at these minis. I'm very excited. Let me know in the comments below what you think of these minis. Okay. They did it in a, so just so you know where they revealed it, they revealed these minis in a Games Workshop live stream on Twitch. They did it in this new interview format. I'm not necessarily a big fan of the interview format. I would like to see the minis with maybe some pre-release interviews, really bigging them up before we finally get to see them. One of the main reasons I'm not super impressed by the format, though, is you don't get to see the minis in full. That's why I'm making this video when the article has gone up so we can look at the minis in full, because that, in my opinion, is what's exciting. So the first thing we're going to look at is Vizek Scour, the Prophet of the Horned Rat. Now, they said that this is a new spiritual leader for the Skaven. Let me know, chat, what you think of anyway, the spiritual leader, or like the religious leader of the Skaven, looks, in my opinion, 11 out of 10. You can't really go wrong with Skaven sculpts, I think. They're just very, very visceral. I like this sculpt a lot. I think it's cool. It's very busy and very detailed. But if you haven't been keeping track of Age of Sigmar 4, it's a centerpiece edition. Most of the rules and most of the good stuff that focus on those in an army is all focused around some centerpiece models. So I think with this mini, they may well have dialed it to 11, which is pretty cool. And there is a bit of story to accompany him, which we are going to cover. Let's do it. When Kragnos, not a Beast Chaos model, escaped from his mountain prison in Gur, he unleashed a wave of primal energy that was felt even in Blight City. That's where the Skaven live. A protean demon of ruin emerged from the heart of the Master Burrow. That's where I think Skaven live. And only prayers to the Great Horn Rat could quell its rage. When the Vermin Doom secured the Skaven god's place in the Pantheon of Chaos, he shaped this demon into Vizek Scour, Lord of the Nor and Prophet of the Horned Rat. Now, I guess the real question is for everyone, and also me, is where do the Vermin Lords fit in this hierarchy now? Because there are still Vermin Lords, which are demons representing the different clans. There are still some Vermin Lords that are missing. And so I'm quite interested in where they might be in the future. Anyway, let me know what you think of this mini. The chat, let me know what you think of this mini as well. Because I think this is, I'd love to know what you all think. I adore the tiny rats. And they don't even look like bad guys. They look like little teeny tiny rats on the shoulders, which I think are obviously adorable. Games Workshop, even in their grim, dank horror, are now doing little cutie things in here. And you can never have enough tiny rats, I agree. Here's some more close-ups as well. You can see all of this stuff sketched onto him. There's a picture of the tiny rat with some warpstone. Very adorable, I'm going to say. I think it's a great mini. I think it's an 11 out of 10 mini. I don't think this is overtly different, obviously, to something like a Vermin Lord, but I think it's pretty solid. I like it a lot. Let me know what you think. Now, this mini, I think, is super nice. So Gritok Foulblade is the leader, or like, you know, a hero that would lead Clan Verminus. So Clan Verminus is the more martial of the Skaven groups. And here you can see he's just caked up in armor. Absolutely brilliant. Obviously gives us Ikit Claw vibes, which I think is good. And he's got his own little baby rats knocking out, which is good. He's also got a very specific hairline. That's very true. The infamous critic Foulblade stands apart from other Claw Lords by dint of his cold calculated frugality. He would gladly dispatch clan rats to their death en masse, as is his right, but he's of the opinion that those saved today may be more efficiently ordered to their deaths tomorrow, and that they'll perhaps fight a little harder in appreciation of his munificence. Anyway, he's just a Claw Lord. We did actually already hear on the live stream what his rules would be, which is his special rule is that he can fight and get strike first, but he can no longer receive command abilities for the rest of that phase. So in the combat phase, if you haven't been keeping track of Age of Sigmar 4, that's probably about as many rules as he's going to get. He might also have fight simultaneously with a unit and probably a Storm Vermin unit. So you'll normally in a list take him and a Storm Vermin unit at the same time. This is something they've done for almost every army. So I think that's exactly what you'll see here. Talking of, I mean, great model, though. Tell me what you think of the model. I love the little rat that's carrying his scabbard, right? Looks very cool. Looks very cool. Oh, straight onto the Master Molder, but there are new Storm Vermin coming. Now, this is maybe my favorite mini. This is maybe my favorite of the minis that they've showcased. I think that they can do hero characters sensationally well. I think this is fun. This, my friend Peachy, he always says every mini could be a Necromunda mini. This is very close to being, I think, very Necromunda-like. I love, one of my favorite things is the Warpstone bullets that you can see around the belt that are geared up to do the shooting. That is an amazing piece of tech. I think that looks really cool. I like all of this. It's a very busy model. It's got lots going on, but I think that's exactly what you want from some of these. I think it looks super nice. The hulking brood terror has already torn its way out of the containment cells in the Clan Molders laboratories onto the battlefield. Now it's time to witness the twisted mind behind it. Master Molders have had their own flesh malformed by years of exposure to warpstone and self-experimentation. They take to the field in control packs of lumbering rat ogres, always on the lookout for new test subjects to snare with their cruel thing catchers. I like all of this. I think it's really fun. You can really see the reference to Mechanicum and Mechanica sculpting, and then coming back to this and seeing that re-engineered into Skaven, which is so good. A little extra arm stitched on, a whole extra rat doing the reloading. Super cool mini. Like, look at that. Can you see just on the top right shoulder, top left shoulder, sorry, there's a rat that's been stitched on and is doing the reloading. That is super grim. That is very good. Then there's an Arch Warlock. Now, this is the only mini that's a little bit of a miss for me. I think it's slightly too robotic, and I quite like the wild, like, electro, big energy that you saw from the old Arch Warlock. It's obviously not a bad sculpt, but it's not my. I don't think it has the same level of character as the Master Molder. But if you think this one is good, then leave a comment. Say no, Rob, I don't agree. This is the one. This is the best one because, just like Zlavez said in the chat, Warlock is the best new one. Which I think is interesting. So a Warlock engineer, you don't need to describe. They're just Warlock engineers. This is a new character, kind of in the Pantheon. The Warlock Galvania. I'm not really sure. He's just a crazy rat with a massive gun. That's it. Reminds me a lot of the Orc character, or the Orc mech that has the big gun. It is a terrible name. That's an important point to bring up. It isn't a terrible name. Definitely. But the gun does look super fun. I agree. And then obsessed with the highly dangerous and barely controllable Warp Lightning, the Warlock Galvaniers are some of the most deranged members of the Clan Scryer. In battle, use their Warp Volt Obliterators to empower other similar devices as well as directly fulminate and fusillade their enemies. I assume it's 18-inch range, pick a unit, roll a D3, 2+, do that many mortal damage. But maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so now we're on to the Globadiers, and I love Globadiers as minis. There are loads of great third-party sculpts for Globadiers because Games Workshop have been sat on the same old single monopose metal Globadier for about 30 years. So seeing this updated to a new range is really, really fun. They did say in the live stream that these would be really great at killing infantry, and that's what their main skill sets was. The designer also said there was loads of fun little bits, but ultimately I think if you're a painter, being able to paint those little those globes of warpstone will be so fun. There's loads of really cool potential with all the backpacks as well. And I think it's just a really iconic kit. And I'm really hoping they're good in the game because I think they look brilliant. A unit of 5 as well is not like, it's more manageable than if it was like a big unit of 10. So I think that's really good. So I like this a lot. I really like this sculpt. I think they're very dynamic. Each one of the 5 poses is very different. So even if you got a unit of 10, I think that they would look good as well. Yeah, you could have a real fun time painting these up. And then you can see like all the globes all stacked up, the other globes. Just super fun. But though the Warlocks at Clan Scryer are all sorts of flunkies and flactums, this is just going to be narrative talking about the Globadiers. So they're going to be a missile infantry unit. I assume there'll be a couple of wounds each, and they'll just do a ton of damage against infantry. The Warp Spark weapon battery is just a remake of the Warp Grinder. So there you can see the Warp Grinder. And this is, they have said already what the rules are. They've said that this is going to be a unit that lets you deep strike with another unit. And they've said that multiple times, right? Said that multiple times. And this is just a remake of the Warp Grinder that we've seen. Sorry about that. I was just needing to go back and look. The Warp Spark weapon battery in this article, unfortunately, they haven't included the pictures for it. They also didn't include the pictures for Storm Vermin. But thanks to the Twitch chat and also everyone on my Discord, we were able to go grab them. So the Warp Spark weapon battery is here a bunch of new weapons teams. What's really interesting about this individual kind of release is the sheer number of bases that are available here. If I'm looking at this right, there are 9 bases available. But either way, and normally when they do these releases, they just show off how many models are in that kit. So if the weapons teams is a box of 9 different bases of Skaven, that would be crazy big. So it would be really exciting to see what that looks like. It could be 3x3. That's a great shout. It could be 3 lots of 3. Good, but they normally don't do that. Normally, if they're showing off any unit, they just show off the heavy metal version, which is like a 10 or a 5 or whatever it is. Either way, it looks like we've got rattling guns, looks like we've got warp fire throwers, and we've got a bunch of other cool minis. Unfortunately, we can't get you the cool pictures. Instead, we've got these very dark and dimly lit pictures, which is also true for the Storm Vermin. And the Storm Vermin look excellent. When they eventually release the Storm Vermin picture so you can actually see what they look like up close, I imagine they look really good. I really like Storm Vermin, and I do like the concept of going for more of a martial Skaven build. I think that's fun. I think Scryer, Pestilence, and Molder have all got these really iconic builds. You know, even Eshin do as well. And it's odd that we haven't seen any of the Eshin release either. No Eshin models, which I think is a little bit odd. But these look really cool as well. And then if we just go back to our article, we can see the Warp Grinder, which I was talking about a minute ago. There you go. You can see those Warp Grinder. I think that looks cool. Very fun. Put a unit into Deep Strike and fight with it. That's fun. The Doomflayers, they did say in the article that Doomflayers would be a unit of 2 different models, which I'm very excited about. Doomflayer looks very cool. Really nice to see this in the picture, not in the video, because in the video you just couldn't see it. I think it's really fun, fast, a really cool little kit. I like the idea of Skaven Cavalry, but Skaven Cavalry being, you know, absolutely crazy and demented like you see here. So I think that's so fun. But yeah, I like these a lot. The Doomflayers are very cool. And then they did announce a book, but I am going to kind of cover that in a separate video. I'll just cover it in this video because the Skaven book has kind of left more questions than it answered. So they've announced the Battle Tome. That's exciting. There will be a Skaven book. There'll actually be 2 Skaven books, which is kind of... Oh, actually, I haven't covered all the minis yet. Sorry, let me go back. Because there's also the Brood Terror, which they showcased previously on the Warhammer community article. You can see that there. There's a much better picture probably somewhere. And they oddly also featured Thanquol. Okay? Right, so let's get back to the book. There's going to be 2 books. There is your very standard Chaos Battle Tome Skaven. And they say it here. Alongside the regular hardback edition... these will be contained within Battle Tome Skaven, which is the ultimate guide to the Skaven in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. These books have undergone a mighty redesign in the new edition and will be exploring what they look like soon. So these books have gone a mighty redesign. Now, an important thing to note from 40K is that 40K's rules books or new books ended up with much smaller lore sections than they previously used to have. And also, I don't think that they got I don't think they got much more Crusade rules, which is our Path to Glory rules. And they didn't mention anything about that here. So maybe we won't be seeing that. I don't know for now. But either way, they have done a big redesign. Alongside this, another regular hardback editions book, stuff with lore and rules you're used to. There'll also be a limited number available in a new format. So they've announced a new format of books in Age of Sigmar 4. And these are the Gamers editions. Designed for players who want all their rules in one package, which is a weird thing to say because you would assume all of the rules that I need are in the Skaven book, not in the Gamer book, unless there are additional rules that are only in the Gamer book, which are different to what are in the Skaven book, which would be weird. So I'm not really sure what that means. Good suggestion by Takeo Cat says maybe it's got the core rules in here as well. Maybe it's got the core rules, it's got the spearhead rules, all of the different spearhead rules you can play. Maybe it's also got the regiments of renown, which is a type of build that you can do when you're building your lists. Maybe it's also got an army of renown in there as well. Maybe it's got all of those things. And yeah, maybe spearhead rules aren't in the regular book. I don't know. So maybe this is just for that. And what they've said is, but it's odd that they've said who want all of their rules in one package, because I don't know what's in here. The Battle Tome is a smaller format softback book, so a smaller book that fits in a backpack. And it comes with a complete set of reference cards and a cardboard envelope to pack all your essentials. Now, an important thing to note is they're also going to release War Scroll cards separately. So there will be a set of regular War Scroll cards available to purchase separately, covering the Northeast Clawpack Spearhead. So the Northeast Clawpack Spearhead, which will be a new type of spearhead for all you spearhead fans, and the 43 Skaven War Scrolls. It wouldn't be a faction release without a set of dice, so there'll be some dice as well. And on top of all that, certain miniatures will break free from the confines of the Skaven type box. Now, this is not a very confusing sentence, because what they're basically saying is the stuff in the Skaven type box will get its own separate release. There's going to be a Clawlord and Norbeast you can buy separately, Rat Ogres you can buy separately, Clan Rats you can buy separately, and the Rattling Warp Blaster you can buy separately. Now, the weird thing that they then said was, alongside Thanquol Bone Ripper and the Plague Pack. Well, Thanquol Bone Ripper is already released, and the Plague Pack is the spearhead that they'll be releasing, because they go on to say that the Northeast Claw Pack, oh no wait, the Plague Pack is a separate spearhead, I think, to the Claw Pack, but it's a very confusing series of things. It's Scabbit's Plague Pack, sorry, it's Scabbit's Plague Pack is what it's going to be. Maybe? We're very confused. As someone who professionally covers this stuff, this article is badly written. It's mixing pictures, and I am only confused as to the difference between the Skaven book and the Battle Tome book. If you think you know what the answer is, please do leave them in the comments below. I'm not trying to be intentionally critical. I have already discussed this for 10 to 20 minutes with the chat, several other people as well, before I've even recorded this video, so I'm confused. Big takeaway, loads of cool new Skaven minis are coming out. Bigger takeaway, don't buy books. I've said this every time, and I'll probably say this in every video from this point onwards. Books go out of date. Minis don't often go out of date. I know you're going to say to me, Rob, my Bone Splitter's army went out of date, or whatever it was. Generally, you can just find rules online for free, and that's generally a much better thing to do with your money, is in my opinion. This is also the exact opposite of what we've always wanted. What we've always said is we want a book that contains the art and the story and all of that fun stuff in a book that we can flip through and look at and will last us a while. What we've not wanted is a book that's only rules, and we want books to go online and be digital so that we can just have them, something we can download and print, like the packs that are currently available, right? That's what we've wanted. So this is a weird release. This is exactly what people haven't wanted, in my opinion. But if you don't agree and you'd like to say something different, say, no, Rob, I exactly wanted a book that only contains the rules without the other stuff, then let me know down below. Either way, don't forget that there will be early day 1, day 2 FAQs for the rules, which will probably make your cards, or might make some of your cards, invalid, because that has been true for all of the releases. And so just buy them at your own risk. But let's just skip all that. Let's go straight to the most exciting part. There's loads of cool new Skaven minis coming out. Let me know which is your favorite. My favorites are, if I'm being honest, the Molder guy. Love him the best. I love Kritok Foulblade, the new Verminous leader, and I do love the Store Vermin. I look great. If you've enjoyed this video, thanks very much. Please do like, leave a comment, subscribe. I appreciate all of you. Oh, yeah, and a special shout out. Actually, that's a great shout. A special shout out right now, if we all can, to the tiny rat on the shoulder of the vermin god. Because sometimes I feel like that's what I am as a content creator. That's me, the tiny rat on the vermin god that is Games Workshop. Either way, I'm excited about the minis. I hope you are too. Thanks for watching my video. Bye.